Anything. Let's have a celebration. Toast.
Yay.
Cheers.
Yay.
To
That's so good.
you making the time coming out.
Oh,
Chris
thank
Sapphire,
y'all for having me.
Thank you so much. And celebrating life, you and Dancing Queen.
Oh,
How about
yeah.
that?
Dancing Queen. Are we filming? Are we recording already?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, hey, world.
So cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everybody. Thank y'all so much. I didn't know we were going to drink today, but I'm
It's gonna be
excited to
fun.
be drinking.
Mhm.
I mean, hey, it's a celebration.
Mm-hmm. It's
Celebrating.
exciting.
So we have wanted you to come on for a long time. Michael always told us about you and said, you should
Oh.
have him on. You should have him on. But we tried to get a little bit better with what we're doing.
Oh.
So for, like,
Yeah.
for the really great people, we
Well,
wanted
that's
to
happened.
wait.
Oh, that's so sweet, man.
Well, thank you. So I wanted to tell everyone, welcome to our Posh podcast. And I am here with my beautiful daughter, Marcella, who's my
Hello.
co-host. Our co-host, Whitley, who's usually here, is not here today. She's in Florida.
Yep. Backup Whitley today.
Back
Yes.
up Whitley. Hi, Spider,
Hello.
our fearless technician that is always backing us up with everything. We love having you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
And today we are so extra super excited to have our special guest, Chris Sapphire,
Oh my
on.
God. Hi, world. If you're wondering who is that, we'll find out right now.
Yes.
And
We're
that's
so excited.
exactly what I wanted to say, that this show, this whole first hour is all about you, Chris. We
Oh,
want to
wow.
know and get
Yes.
to learn you and who you are and what you're all about. And you're like the most charismatic human being. You have such a special spirit around you.
Oh, wow. Thank you
Yes.
very much. That's so sweet.
Marcella and I always say when we see you, we're like, oh my gosh, we want to hang out around.
I know. It's
you.
like it's everything about you. I was like his voice. Like you're just so like attractive. Like just everything
The
about it. Like your
energy.
energy.
Before we ever got to meet, and I heard you on MZ Now, I was like, I've got to meet that guy.
Really?
Wow.
It
Well,
took a
thank
while.
you.
But
You know,
we got there
that-
eventually.
That is so sweet. Thank you all so much. That is so affirming and spiritual and like, whoa. You know, I pray a lot. I pray all the time. I'm always meditating. People are like, what do you do all week? Meditate. And so you telling me that, it's so like, wow.
It works.
God, you're really doing the woo.
Well, we're big energy people,
Big
so
time.
like I can't do like the negative energy ever. Like I freak out kind of. So I like the positive. We like magnets to positive energy.
Oh, I love that. And, you know, speaking of negative energy, I have been really these last 3 years immersing myself more into my faith and spirituality more than ever.
Yeah.
And I have recently come to the conclusion that pretty much negative energy or negative imaginations or anything that is not of God or of that frequency is literally a lie and an illusion of your own mind. So now that we know that truth, we know to, like this Bible verse says, bring down every imagination and high thing that lifts itself against the knowledge of God. Meaning if it's not of God or God doesn't speak it as his truth, it's not for you, it's not for real, and it doesn't have any power. So we have been
Wow.
wasting so much of our
that.
lives
A lot, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
allowing these things we imagine that are negative to make us feel bad.
See, I've been trying to work on that. Like more of the stress, like the stuff, because we were talking to Valerie, she said fear is a liar. I'm like, oh
It
my
is.
gosh, I need to be better about not being fearful of stuff, which is a negative.
Mm-hmm.
But even with people and everything, just trying to be more positive.
Sometimes it's hard when it comes at you from so many angles,
Mhm.
and then you kind of go, whoa, whoa, whoa. You forget
Yes.
those things you just said.
Hey, let me ask you a personal question. What religion or ideology do you subscribe to?
Christian.
Oh, okay, then
Yeah.
we can go there.
Yeah.
Because that's what I immersed myself in about when I was 14 years old. And then for a good 10 years after 14, I was good.
Yeah.
And maybe like 3 years ago, you go through that quarter life crisis. Who am I now? And why do I tick the way I tick? And I got right back into it, more so now than ever. And I think a great way to avoid all that from affecting you when it comes to you from the outside world is to really know who you are
Yeah.
through God's
Right.
eyes. And then everything else it's powerless.
True.
That is
the
true.
foundation.
I love that.
So you got to write it out in your wall or in your journal, who I am in Christ. It tells you in the Bible.
Yeah.
And then you live with that as your foundation. So any insults, anything that comes from the outside world, it has no power to lie.
It's like a wall. Like
Yeah.
it can't
It
get
becomes
to you.
a concrete wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it talks about that in the Bible. It says this is why we rejoice in insults and in persecutions, because we know who we are.
Right.
And we know where we're going. And we know that this world doesn't have an influence on us.
Right.
You know, in a negative way. Girl, it gets deep.
I love that,
It
though.
gets
I feel
deep.
like I need to start a journal. I like you do. I know Justin does it. Like people journal. Do you journal?
No, not at all.
Me neither. But I feel like I should.
You really should.
I think it
You
would be-
can.
yeah.
Well, it's a good therapist,
Yeah.
the journal, because
Yeah.
you're putting it from the spirit into the real world.
Right.
Once you write it down, now it's out of you into this physical realm.
Right.
So get it out of the
Get
spirit.
it. Get it out. Give it out.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Might try it.
And it's wonderful. You'll notice that once you do get it out, you're going to feel like, okay, well, dang, I feel kind of better. And you can scrunch up the paper and
Throw it
trash
away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I'm gonna
Yep.
try it.
Like you
Let
can
you know.
imaginary burn it.
Yeah, burn it.
Or I can burn it for real.
Yeah. But yeah, the imagination's very, very powerful. I've been studying that too. And I mean, we have to use that amazing gift to only imagine good things, and those good things become reality through the faith. That's it. But when you imagine bad scenarios, they have no power. All they do is self-torment you. That's why most of the things you imagine that are bad never even come to fruition.
I know it.
And that's the grace of God protecting you from your own self.
I love
Wow, that's
Pretty
so
powerful,
amazing.
right?
Yes, and I
Very-
love it.
Pretty
I try to think
powerful.
about that all the time.
It's the truth.
I know.
It's the absolute truth. So a good little quick way to stop negativity is just do the, no, that's a lie. No, that's a lie.
Yeah.
You know, I heard once that in therapy, some psychologists do this no thing. No, it's a stop. My friend had really bad anxiety, and her therapist is like, every time you feel the anxiety coming, just say stop.
No, I need to try
Stop.
that.
We need to do
Because
that.
mine only comes like
Stop.
at nighttime, especially.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
And what is it that you worry about?
I don't know.
Tell the world.
Well, really,
Everything.
anything and everything. It just kind of happened. Like if I lay down, I think that's why. I mean, I think artists' brains stay up kind of later, anyways.
Yes.
And it's just always going. And so then when I try to sleep, it's everything floods sometimes. And I'm like, I feel like I'm telling myself stop, but
What's even more powerful than the stop is no, that's a lie.
I need to try that
That's
one.
even better, because if God, the creator of all things,
Yeah.
is telling you that's a lie, then you have no power to even give it. And it has
Right.
no power over you no more.
Yeah.
And even if you're feeling the anxiety, God is still going to bless you, and his promise will unfold.
Yeah.
And once you know that truth,
Right.
man, that demon really loses its grip.
Right.
And I have gotten to that point now, because in these last 3 years, I was never an anxious person or anything, but I started feeling tinges of it. And I said,
Really?
something's not right. So that's why I really immersed myself in the practices.
Well, they say you're supposed to have total faith, like faith that
Yeah.
everything, no matter if it's good or bad, that comes in is supposed to be, and you have faith in the path that God puts you on, and to not have those anxious feelings.
Well,
So-
you can have them, but you realize it's futile. There's no
Right.
point in it, because
Right.
God's blessing's still going to come. So why am I going to self-torment when it's still coming? Might as well
Right.
just enjoy it.
Right. And it's time wasted worrying. Life's short.
It's
Right.
like sitting in a rocking chair.
Yeah.
You get nowhere.
Where I've never heard that before.
Nowhere.
Or the damn treadmill.
Or a treadmill. Well, I mean, you lose weight on
That's
the
true.
treadmill.
That's
you
true.
know, but the rocking chair.
You're sitting.
So I want to kind of jump into Chris, who you are. How did you tell me a little bit about how did you grow up? Where did you grow up? A little bit about your family.
I grew up here in Dallas. I'm originally from Oak Cliff, Texas.
Okay.
The hood.
Hey.
And I moved to Pleasant Grove, which is by where
Also the hood.
it's
Also
also,
in the
well,
hood.
it was the hood really in the 90s, but I moved to Pleasant Grove in the early 90s and grew up over there. But middle school, I went back to Oak Cliff to an art school, Griner. And then after there, I went to Booker T, which is a really prestigious art school here in
Right.
Dallas. And I was fortunate to be there for 2 years. Then I got kicked out.
Wait, what did you go for? What did you get in for?
I got in for visual arts. I was drawing and painting
Oh, wow.
because all my life from first grade all the way up into 8th grade, I was always in theater. And so I knew I could draw, and I said, well, I want to like make that better, hone that craft. And luckily, it was good enough to get me into Booker T.
Wow.
Nice.
Now, it was a culture shock because a lot of theater kids were very animated and more outspoken, and the artsy kids were quiet. So it's like, here's my loud ass, and everybody's quiet. I remember being in class and my music would be banging. Everyone's looking at me, and it's just like, sorry. I mean, I was
That's who
listening to
I am.
Tina Turner, you know?
So do you draw? You draw still now? Or no?
Every now and then I will, especially when I'm inspired, but I like to, I call it commercial painting, honey. I like to paint celebrities, things that
You
will
do?
sell and make some money. You know, if
I
I
want to see that.
Yeah, me too.
I have, well, thankfully, everything has sold up into now, you know,
Really?
pretty much around the country or locally. Yeah, people will buy my paintings.
That's awesome.
And it makes me so happy because that's how I make money on the downtimes or on whenever, you know, because I'm my own little boss. Take care of myself.
And where do you sell these? Like,
I
where
would
could
sell
you
them
find
on
them?
Facebook. I'll put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And people will inbox me. They're like, I want it. How much is that? And I tell them and they'll come buy it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's
So thank
nice.
God for that.
Yes.
But that was my idea. I said, you know what? I want to paint things that will sell. I was like, you know, I
Smart.
can paint my feelings some other day. Pretty much.
Smart.
Right.
On your own time.
Yeah.
So why did you get kicked out of Booker T Washington?
I
What
got
did you
kicked
do?
out. Oh, I'll tell you the truth. I got kicked out because freshman year I was having way too much fun. I was in love with everything. I was in love with the people. I was in love with the open-mindedness of everybody. And so my grades slipped. And so when you go to Booker T, you can't have bad grades. So I was there freshman and sophomore year. And then after sophomore year, I come back and they're like, Chris, you know, did you get your summer school letter? And I said, no. They're like, oh my God, you were supposed to go to summer school. They're like, we you know, you're not gonna be able to come back.
No.
And I was so shocked and I was like, what do I do now?
Right.
So then what?
And so then I started thinking, what's my next plan? And I had friends at another high school in Dallas called Molina High School. And I thought, I'll go over there. Well, they didn't accept me over there because everybody supposedly wants to go over there. I guess it was more gay friendly. And so a lot of people want to go over there to be inclusive. And so they didn't allow me in. So I had to go to Sunset High School, which is in Oak Cliff. And I went there for 1 year, but I didn't go into the main building. I stayed in a little place called Reconnect. It almost felt like prison for someone like
Oh
me.
my gosh. That sounds
did.
like it.
It was very prison because you had to be quiet all day and focus on your work. And every hour, a little bird would chirp on the clock and you would get a 10-minute break just to go socialize for 10 minutes. And I did that for a year. Can you imagine?
No.
Oh, I don't like, no, thank you.
Oh.
I almost did not graduate.
Oh, honey, let me tell you. And that was junior year at that little reconnect. That whole year, all my grades went right back up, all 90s, 80s. I was back on top. That I got to go on summer break before my senior year of high school early, 1 month early, I believe. And so I come back. Now it's going to be my senior year. And my counselor's like, I have bad news. And I said, what?
No way.
She was like, because you went to Booker T, you have no gym credits.
No.
I was going to have to stay in high school for 1 more year to almost 2 years just to capture
2 years.
almost because of gym. And I said,
What?
I said, fuck that.
That's not fair.
Joke. My
For
gosh.
gym.
What?
So she was like, you know, just come 1 hour a day, take your gym class for that long
No
of time.
way.
Yeah. So I said, I got so mad. I said, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to go do online courses. She said, that's not really real. She said, what you could do is go to Mountain View College, pay them $80 for an exit exam and get a GED. I said, well, that's what I'm going to do. So I got shitted out of luck, had to settle for a GED. Nothing's wrong with that. I mean, I got one. And that was the end of my scholastic life. That's how that ended.
Well, I don't blame you one bit. What a messed up system that is.
It was pretty messed up.
That's so crazy.
And that's how that cookie crumbled.
Yeah. And no college.
I went to
you did?
cosmetology school.
Okay.
That was good enough for me.
Yeah.
And that's how my career started. It started through
He loves
makeup.
makeup.
That was it.
Me
Makeup.
too.
It started with makeup.
Oh.
And we don't have commercial breaks on here. Okay, I was like, girl, am I talking too much?
You keep talking.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, it started with makeup. And my friend got me into the industry. And next thing you know, I was working doing magazines, the designers of that time, weddings, everywhere. It was insane how booked I was. But then I noticed that the industry was taking advantage of me, and some people didn't want to pay me, or it was becoming too much for me, that it made me get over it. And so I stopped.
It's because
I bet you're a really good makeup artist.
Oh, it was so much fun. Thank you. Thank you.
But it's this whole thing, like artists. People don't think they have to pay artists. Like they think you can do the makeup for free. They think she can teach dance for free.
Yes.
It's so confusing to me.
It's ghetto.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's ghetto. But that's how my career started with that. And because I was working with so many great photographers, they would ask me to come back, and then I would be in front of the camera being photographed. And I said, okay, well, I'll take pictures. I don't think of myself as a model or anything, but I was like, I'll take photos for y'all.
Well, you should be.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I'm a little thick, but...
Where? Please.
The
Gosh.
androsity of thighs. But so in those days, it was MySpace that was popping.
Uh-huh.
And so all those photos I would put online started garnering me a lot of traction on my MySpace. And back then there was like little local stars on MySpace and all that.
Yeah.
And that's what started happening. I started going out into the world, and people are like, you're that guy on MySpace. You're that guy. And that's how me and Alyssa Edwards met back that many years ago.
Wow.
Yes.
On MySpace.
Because of MySpace, she noticed me at the club. She's, I want you to do my makeup. You're the makeup guy. Yes. Because back then I would walk around with lipstick and eyeshadow and glitter. I mean, I was all into androgyny, Grace Jones, all of that.
Wow.
And it was because of that attention that at that time during American Idol was at its height. People thought I was one of the contestants on that show. I would be at makeup conventions or out in the world, and people are like, oh my God, you're on American Idol. I'm like, no, who
did they think you were?
They thought I was some guy named Danny Noriega. He's now known as Adore Delano, one of RuPaul's Drag Race girls.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I need to look it up.
Oh, girl, he was humongous on American Idol. That was the heyday. And so
I feel like I remember the name.
I do too.
Oh, once I show y'all a picture, y'all gonna know.
Y'all look nothing alike though.
We don't, but at that time I had long hair, the skinny jeans, and so did he, and there was a similarity going on. And so I decided to look this guy up on MySpace. Well, everybody would accept everybody back in the day. And so he accepted my friend request, and then one day he says, I'm going live on stickcam.com, which was this live website where you can simulcast and everybody will look at you. So I go on his show. It had like 6 little guest spots for other people to put their little cameras on, and he's the main star. And I managed to get a little guest spot. And I just started talking into my microphone at home on my computer, and he had like 500,000 viewers.
What?
And all of a sudden they start going, who the fuck is Chris Sapphire? They thought I was funny. And then he noticed me off of that. He was like listening to me, and then he and I hit it off through his show.
What?
We became good Judies on that show, that he would let me take over his show in front of all his fans. And that is how I developed my little following. He blessed me. And that's how that's how I started pumping out these people, started supporting my gig. And then I go to LA to his house, get on his show. We've been friends ever since.
What?
We're still good Judies to this day, all these years later. And it is because of the success of that appearing on his little web show that I ended up landing a radio gig here in Dallas for a good 8 years. Doing MZ Live, MZ Now with the Michael Zavala people, interviewing celebrities I think I was with them for 7 or 8 years. It was a long time. They had a casting call. I went, got the gig, and God, it taught me so much.
So that's Michael's
show, yes.
Oh, wow. Michael is actually the guy that owns the studio we record in.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So you would go out and interview celebrities and
Interview celebrities. I remember going to LA and we interviewed some folks over there, or people would come on the show. Like, I grew up loving NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
Oh my gosh,
and all that.
yes.
Everything.
Love it.
We had Joey Fatone come on the show, and I was like, what is going on? Not NSYNC. I mean, these are people I would put their pictures on my wall, and here we have Joey Fatone. Well, we hit it off. I ended up going to the club with him afterwards.
What?
Right. I'm partying with one of the NSYNC guys. This is surreal boots. And so It was so cool doing the show.
You are, though. I have to just interrupt you for one second.
No, go ahead. No worries.
I saw that you were doing a Grammy red carpet.
The Emmys.
Spider, do you have
Emmy.
that?
Yeah.
Let me just listen to that for a second.
It's such a good voice.
Talking about the biggest moments from last night's Emmy Awards, including that proposal, but we're also obsessed, of course, with those red carpet looks. Internet personality and pop culture junkie Chris Sapphire is in the building. Here
What's up, everybody?
to dish on what looks were good, what popped, what was hot, what was not.
Okay, y'all got me up here looking like a gay Beetlejuice, girl. Look at this. My goodness. Good morning, everybody.
You matched the black theme, though, this morning.
We didn't plan this.
Yeah.
This used to happen all the time back in the day.
It did.
Oh, my goodness.
great.
Hello, America.
Let's go ahead and dive into it, Chris. So first up, we're talking about Tracee Ellis Ross. Tell us what she's
Oh,
wearing.
my goodness. How funny that y'all brought this
Valentino.
up. This gave me like bippity boppity boo. You know, on Cinderella, where you see the little mousies just attaching fabric. Girl, do these people have friends? Look at that.
So fashion police.
I was telling my good homegirl, I was like, sometimes, you know, Hollywood people are just so hippie and like they don't give a crap about nothing that they just wear the weirdest things. Girl, what is that?
Well, it's Valentino
So that's a
Haute
no.
Couture.
That's
Girl,
a no.
And I love her.
I do love
she
her.
She is funny, she's beautiful, but that dress is swallowing her. That looks like Pepto-Bismol.
So,
Pepto-Bismol.
okay, really? I'm like, fashion police is dead. Who can we call that you become the new fashion police?
No.
I want. I
missed that
literally-
show, actually.
Everyone misses the show. There is no show like that. I'm like, I want Chris Sapphire to do red carpet, pink carpet, recaps, and police everybody's.
Police
What can we do? Who can we call? You need to do this. You are made for this.
God, come on.
You know, you speak it out in the world.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Put it out there.
speaking of speaking out in the world, the reason why I got that gig to go on national TV was because a few years prior to going on to talk about that, I was doing medical billing, working at a medical billing
Medical
office.
billing?
Girl, boring. And so I did that because I wanted to get some quick, good money so that I could build my own studio at home for my YouTube channel. And so I did that. And I built my studio, got all the things I needed, teleprompters and lights and everything.
Wow.
And so I once got to work and I told my best friend, we worked together, and I said, you know what? I'm going to leave this job because I had just gotten a contract extension with World of Wonder, the people that do RuPaul's Drag Race, to do YouTube shows for them. And so I said, I'm going to leave this job. I'm going to work so hard on my YouTube channel, make it so good that I land a permanent TV gig. And just like I said it manifested into reality. Yes. I started pumping out my YouTube show. I talk about pop culture. And one day my inbox goes off and it's some producers from the CW network. And they're like, we've seen your show. Would you be interested in doing TV? I said, of course. Why not? Mind you, I had only done little TV appearances here and there on other little talk shows, but never something like this. And I went, I did the audition, and they were like, you know what? Yeah, you got this. You're good.
Natural.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so I show up for the gig. I was supposed to appear on a Wednesday. I show up and I do it. I'm not really nervous. I'm more like, well, God, because, you know, that's when your faith kicks in. I'm walking into the unknown. And I did the gig. It turned out well. I get home and my inbox goes off again. And they're like, Chris, we want you to come back. But we want you to come back for the rest of the year. So I showed up. Now I'm on national TV. It was a show called Eye Opener on the CW network in like 6 or 7 cities around the country in the morning for 3 hours. And I was the pop culture guy. And
Perfect.
And it was crazy how this manifested. So now I went from the internet to internet radio to YouTube to national television within years. And it's just manifesting like crazy. And
Law of attraction.
the law of putting it out there. I'm telling you, God, you imagine godly
Yes.
things and he makes them come to fruition.
Yeah.
And so that came to be. And then that show ended after a year. And I have so much footage for a reel, for whatever. And people would tune in and watch that. And when some of the anchors were gone, they put me on the main desk to read the news.
Because I can see why.
Yeah, I can too.
Girl, I didn't go to college for none of this.
But you don't need college all the time. This is a gift.
I guess, thank you,
you
God.
can't learn this in college.
It
you
must
can't.
be.
Natural.
You can't.
It was so weird, you guys. It was so weird. And I remember sitting on that desk thinking, this is the 5th largest media market in the country. And my crazy ass is on this, just reading teleprompter, sitting next to professionals. And I remember when I first walked in there on day 1, they were looking at me like, who is this? And girl, next to I'm sitting next to them on the desk. It was crazy. Absolute
awesome.
bonkers. But we became really good friends. Me and a lot of the cast members that when I went on that show for the Emmys, I had already been off the air for maybe about a year. And so that show called me up. They're like, our show's coming to an end. The producers gave us free reign on whoever we want to book. And they're like, we thought of you first. And so that's why they called me to go on that. And so I went to do that and to promote Dancing Queen.
Yes. I saw that. I did see
Yes.
that. But we need to bring back Fashion Police for
I
all
mean,
these shows. And
there's
you
a
should
red
do
carpet,
it.
a pink carpet almost every weekend.
Yeah,
and
you could
I
be
think
the new Joan Rivers.
Yes.
I love it.
We need to put it out there. Put it out
We're
there.
putting it out there, and then sometimes when you get it, you bring us on as like
Oh,
co-hosts.
God, yes. I'd love to pay it forward and share and all that. I don't mind. At this point, I feel like I've dabbled in so many things that I always wanted to do. I even have music videos out there when I was doing like
we know about
music.
those.
It was having fun and it's just silly little music out on YouTube.
I love that though.
Thank you.
It's so cute. Now, let me ask
you.
you something else real quick. When
Yes.
did you know that you were gay?
I think, honestly, well, I don't think I believe. I've always known since I was little. Since I think in 1st grade is when I started seeing the world and feeling certain things. It wasn't until 3rd grade when I was at my locker that this guy named Dominique came up to me and he called me gay. And that was the first time I ever heard that word.
3rd grade.
In 3rd grade, he's like, "You're gay." And I was at my locker. And so I was really smart. And something told me, go to your dictionary. What does that mean? And I looked it up. And when I saw the definition, I said, that's real? And I thought, oh my God, that's real. And that was the realization there. That's what I am. And that became the biggest secret of my life until 8th grade when I just couldn't take it no more and I came out.
To your family and stuff, were they supportive?
Well, I was at a party having all the fun. And my dad picks me up from the party and he notices there's a lot of gay people in the front yard. And he's from Mexico, real macho, Spanish speaking. And he told me in the car, I don't want you to hang out with these kind of people. And I had the biggest crush on one of the guys there. So there was there was no way that you're going to stop me from ever seeing my crush again. And so in that moment, I was so mad that I said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm fucking gay too. And that's how it
You
came out of
said
the
it?
closet. Yes, only in
Just like that.
Spanish.
Oh,
What is that in Spanish?
Yo soy un pinche joto también. Like really hardcore. And my mom was in the front seat. He's driving. He got quiet. My mom starts crying.
Oh no.
Yes. We get to the house. I was 14 years old, y'all. We get to the house and my mom's like, come here. I need to talk to you. So we go to her room and she's like, do you know what being gay means? And I said, yeah. She starts crying. She's like, it means you're going to have sex in the butt. That was the first. That's like the only shit she was thinking about. You're going to have sex in the ass. It was like so weird. But then she was like, I love you. I accept you. And everything was good.
That's good. That's
It was
so.
good.
and your dad too?
Oh, no, not with him, honey. We had to go to counseling. He started bringing up the Lord and everything. But, oh, my God. After a few years, he came too.
Good.
Yeah.
So now it's good.
Oh, everything's wonderful.
Good.
To the point now where sometimes if I have powder or something not blended in, he's like, you missed the spot. I'm like, oh, wow.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you, Dad. It's amazing.
Are you only child?
No, I only have one sibling, me and my brother.
Okay. And
That's
is he gay too?
No, he's straight.
Okay.
He's straight. He's 6 feet 5 inches
he's
tall.
Very tall.
Wow.
Yes.
And
he
very
grew-
fun.
He's a fun guy. His name's Marcos. He graduated from law school recently.
Wow.
Right now, he's in the process of, God willing, getting a job at the United Nations.
Oh my
and
goodness.
so me and him are like day and night.
Are y'all close?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
very close. We get along. We're both Virgos. We bump heads every now and then, but we're brothers. No, normal
Yeah.
stuff.
Normal stuff.
That's cool. Okay, so the definition of gay in a dictionary is what? Because I thought it was just happy, right?
It used to be.
Right? Because that's what it was. So when you looked it up then, what did it say? Or
Well, it did say happy,
Yeah.
but it also said, a person who's attracted to the same gender,
yeah.
and I was, I guess, intelligent enough at
To
that
know.
age to realize what that meant.
Yeah.
And so it was a big secret. And then, you go, that was 3rd grade. Then you go through 4th grade, 5th grade. Then the hormones start kicking in and you really
Right.
start seeing the world differently. You're like, oh, hold up.
I'm glad it's I don't remember who we were talking to about, maybe it was Frankie, about how now it's so, like, we're so happy that now it's so much easier for everyone to be able to feel like I feel like it's easier
It is.
and more accepted. And because Frankie said even when he was coming out, that was hard
Frankie
for him.
was on our show too.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
I love Frankie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Frankie.
Hi, Frankie.
So I think it's good that now it feels better for young people, I think, if they're confused.
think it is better. It's easier. And I think after 2008 is when the shift in the universe started turning and taking that good turn. Obama got into office. There was a lot of support for the gay community. Lady Gaga came out
Love her.
and took over the world in 2008. She was so pro-gay. Now, we've had people before, Ellen and all these people, and they're all soldiers that have helped us get to where we are. But it was around 2007 and 8 where even I could notice the shift taking place in the world. And look how far we've come now. But look how many steps back we're taking now with politics because of who's in office. And now they're attacking trans people. And so we've come far.
But then,
And now we're taking a few steps back. But I feel like that movement is still fighting, even though these people are trying to push us back. And once these people are gone, it's going to be like a cannonball. Freedom.
yeah.
Freedom to America. Yeah.
I just always feel like everyone should do what makes them happy. I'm like, if it's not hurting me if you're not being bad to me, what does it matter? I don't care. Love whoever you want. Just be happy.
I wish more people
I
thought that
know.
way. And a lot of people hide behind religion and things that are of that nature when you really shouldn't. If you're a spiritual person, we don't have enough room to judge someone else because we're all
Amen.
struggling within ourselves.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Oh, I love it. I love that Bible verse. Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but you don't see the log in your own? I'm
Yeah.
like, boom.
Amazing.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many.
Mhm.
That's so
we're just the least judgmental people ever. Like, I don't judge anyone. I have no right. Only God
No.
can judge, and I just don't feel like it's my place ever.
Right. And it's like, for what? Let's all have fun and get along and party.
Yeah.
And
right.
If only everybody thought this way.
It would be great.
I know.
well, and that's why it shouldn't hurt our feelings when people do attack us, because that hurt people.
That's
Right.
true.
So once we
True.
know that, we shouldn't let it get to us. Be like, you know what? That person must be suffering within their heart.
Inside.
And
Yeah.
instead of being angry, we become compassionate. Mm-hmm.
True.
Well, you say that at the studio if somebody was like attacked. I was like, are you having like a bad day?
Yeah.
Because I don't think this has anything to do with me right now. This seems like something else.
Oh, they had asked you?
No, I mean, if anybody, I feel like if you come in contact with people who like immediately are nasty or aggressive towards you, you have to think like that can't have anything to do with me. And
No.
if they say, if you ask someone like, are you okay today? Instead of like lashing back,
Yeah.
usually you find out that that's all they needed to hear. And they're like, no, I'm not. And you're like, okay, clearly this had nothing to do with me, but something to do on the outside. So maybe
Within
instead
yourself.
of fighting back and forth, you just say, are you okay today?
Oh, very
You know?
true. At the airport, I recently did that. I noticed the lady had an attitude. And I said, how you doing, miss? And she
Yeah.
was like, it is not a good day. And I said, well, girl, I got some good news. God's about to turn that around from you. You're going to have a beautiful day. She said, we need some Jesus up in here. I said, he's already here, girl. Watch your day be so good. And she lit up.
Lit
and I said,
up.
look at
Help
that.
it.
But she
Yeah.
admitted she had a bad day.
Yeah, small things, I think.
But see, your charisma, your spirit
thank
you.
changed it around.
It's the power of words.
yeah,
It
I
is.
agree.
Are you in a relationship right now?
No.
No, you're single.
I have been single since 2005.
What?
Yes.
Wait. How is that possible?
Well,
Yeah.
I only had puppy love in high school. And since then, the well has been dry.
No.
I have cobwebs in my cooch.
You ever dated anyone?
I have not dated anybody. And I just turned 30 years old. And I spent all of my 20s, the prime of my life, single. Every guy I've ever liked has rejected me.
No, how's that possible?
Well, because I was riding that wave of the change in the universe. I think I turned 20 around 2009.
Okay.
So that shift was taking place. I was out here in full-fledged makeup. People didn't know if I was a drag queen or what I was. And so guys were still adapting to this androgynous movement that I was trying to create.
Okay.
Now every guy on the Instagram has makeup on, and they're all
makeup. I'm like, I can't do my makeup.
I know.
Right, Patrick Starr, Manny, makeup artist, Gabriel, all those good folks out there. And now I feel like because of them, they've opened up those doors. But I'm still single now, but it's okay because I trust in God's timing.
Yes.
And I feel like everything will manifest just the way it's supposed to.
Do you like anyone?
No. Yes.
Oh, yes.
You do.
Yes.
Does he know this?
Kind of. I don't know if y'all remember America's Next Top Model, the guy with the silver hair, Jay Manuel. I have always.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Like he was like hosting with her.
Yes. I have always had the biggest crush on Jay Manuel. And so one day on my Instagram, I posted a photo of him with a big hamburger. And I was like, my dream is for Jay Manuel and me to go eat a burger together. Somehow by God's universe, he bumped into that photo and left a little comment.
What?
Right.
When was this?
This was like, I want to say a year ago. And so
What did he say?
he said, sending you love from London. I think he was in London at that time. And so I would then go and always leave funny commentary under his photos. And we just started chatting on Messenger, on Instagram. And I've always had a crush on him. He used to be in my lockers in high school,
What?
pictures. And now I'm like, here I'm talking to Jay Manuel on Messenger. Now we're just buddies, but I still believe in the power of manifestation. So
Me too.
come on, universe. So I'm very patient. And so, I think when I think of like dream guys, it's Jay Manuel's a dream guy. So
Really?
for me, yeah. He's cute.
He is cute.
So cute.
We'll put that out there.
It's out there. We're
Thank
putting
you.
all kinds of things out there today.
Yes. But as for like locally or something, you see people and you're like, oh, they're cute. But I've been rejected so much that I don't want to put myself through that no more. So I'm like, I'll let somebody approach me and hopefully I'll like them. Cause
I'm just shocked because
Me too. I'm
I'm like,
thinking-
oh my, I think you're so attractive. I'm
Oh,
like,
thank you.
I figured you'd be like,
Yeah,
stop.
like
Oh,
so
thank
many.
you. That's so sweet. Thank y'all so
That's
much.
true.
But like, what are your biggest like turn ons and turn offs? Turns off.
Turns off.
Turn on.
Turns
I'm
it off.
very like easygoing. Like you don't have to be rich. You don't have to do none of that. Turn ons, personality, of course,
100%.
spirituality. Have your mind going in the right direction. That's great. Goal oriented. Turn offs. Long toenails.
Oh,
Like, I can't. Long toenails gross me out so bad. Like,
get a
you
pedicure.
Right. If you take your shoes off and you're clawed out,
Oh God.
boo, put your socks back on. It's terrifying. What else turns me off? Big egos and bad attitudes.
Yeah.
Especially if you're drunk and you start becoming mean
Change.
out of nowhere. And I always look at how they treat waiters.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
big one for people.
Yes, yes. I look at that. I'm like, if you're an asshole to a waiter, a person who's just trying to get by, then you're an asshole.
In
You know,
general, yeah.
I'm not trying to judge a person. You judged yourself with that attitude. You know,
Right.
so
Do you want to get married
down the road.
down the road?
Down the road. My thing is, I'm still deciding whether in the church or just by law.
Okay.
I have peace in being gay and believing in God and all that. I had a great conversation with the priest once and he took that guilt off my shoulders, but I'm still trying to figure out my way through that one. That's why I'm like, at church, or you can do it by law. And then I don't
Yes.
feel like, God, is it okay? Is it not okay? Even though you told me it's okay through a priest, I still, the little demons always trying to make you feel
course.
weird, but we'll figure it out down the road.
Right.
That's good.
But in general, you would like to get married down the road sometime.
Yes, because I'm very monogamous and I believe in the long run, and if it's right, it's right. I'd like to just be with one person. I never really got into Grindr or any hookup apps. None of that. I was like, I don't want to be like the town whore.
Yeah, right. That's good though. People
That's
don't like that.
great.
You know, I mean, it works for some people. Some people love to have sex. I'm like, girl, if you want to go have sex, I'm team you. You know, I'm gonna live through you vicariously, but I'm a little
You're
shy.
more classy too, though. I think.
I'm
Yeah.
just a little shy like that.
Why my girlfriends are, some of them are all about casual sex. They crack me
yeah.
up. I'm like, you do. I support it. I just never like that either. I
Yeah.
get nervous. I watch too much Investigation Discovery too.
Oh,
Like I'm
okay.
gonna get murdered.
Well, you never know.
You don't know.
You know, let's hope not. But I'm very shy when it comes to like liking guys. I think because of the rejection thingy, it's
Yeah.
made me kind of a little shy. But I try to like, you know, I try to put my faith in all those scenarios so that I can be less shy in those situations, and hopefully moving forward it'll work out. Yeah.
It will for sure. I'm not worried about you.
I'm not worried.
You're gonna have so many people.
Oh,
know.
thank you. I hope they're good.
It's
Or
all
maybe
good
some people are nervous to come talk to you.
Yeah,
too.
I'm wondering
I
that
don't
too.
know. I try to
Maybe.
be as nice as possible.
You are so nice.
Yeah, I don't
and
see how that's possible.
Oh, thank you. See, but I tried. I don't even try. I feel like I genuinely am. Like I go out into the world with the greatest intentions, and when the world tried to attack me, it would always be like, Chris is so fake. Chris is so fake. I would always hear that I was fake, and I never knew what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew I was living my truth, so it didn't really. It doesn't affect
Matter.
you when you know who you are.
Right.
Isn't it amazing? Like why? Even just that. Like why does someone have to say that? Like
Well,
why?
because
So crazy.
hurt people, and I don't know. I guess. Well, girl, I was 14 years old talking about Jesus and stuff. I mean, people must be like, what? But I was getting down like that at 14, so maybe that's why they felt like that's weird. They couldn't understand that you're
Can't
14. They're
understand
jamming
it.
out to Avril Lavigne, and I'm here talking about God and the goodness of the universe and stuff. And so,
Right.
yeah, it's trippy.
That's very mature at that age.
Mhm.
I needed it though.
Yeah.
It came to me, and I love that God says in the Bible, "You didn't choose me, I chose you." And I'm like, oh, that's really good because I was going through a dark time at 14. School was great, but the people, grown adults in the world, were horrible to me. Yes,
As a kid, the
14.
adults are terrible to you.
They were horrific to me to the point where I came home one day after a year of all that torture, and I was gonna kill myself.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I had the whole thing planned out. I was like, I'm going to come home. This is it. My anxiety, this is before I found God at 14. It was late
just gave
in
me
14.
goosebumps.
Oh,
I was-
yeah. It was at late 14, almost at 15 when I found God, and that's what saved my life. So the day that I came home and I was going to end it, there was a book on my bed. And I was like, what the fuck is that? When I tell you the negativity had taken its toll, everything seems so bad.
Yeah.
Even people laughing, I was like, that's fake. Like you became so evil because of the darkness of the world, you know? That book saved my life.
What book was it?
It was called, I want to say, Stop Worrying, Start Living. I can't remember the author's name, but I opened it, and the first few words, it was like, something was talking to me. And I said, this is what God is about. And it starts introducing you to the Bible verses, and it starts introducing you to what this entity is and how it's going to take care of you and how it changes your life. And I said, whoa, that book stopped me from taking my life. That book led me to starting to read the Bible. And then it just started coming to me. A teacher gave me a little Bible, and I'm like, look, it's manifesting. And one day I was walking through downtown, and I almost slammed into a pole, and it was really negative thoughts telling me, oh, that's a lie. What you're believing, it's all bullshit. When I almost slammed into the pole, I looked up, and there was a huge sticker that said, trust me, on the back of the pole. And I said, what are the odds of me doubting
That's
what I'm
crazy.
learning? And now it's telling me to trust me, and it was trippy.
But where'd the book come from?
I guess my mom put it there, or somebody.
Just happened to be the
Was probably worried.
She
Mom's-
probably had noticed some signs something wasn't right
Yeah.
with me, because my only escape was school. I was having so much fun. Like I said, my grades were slipping. I was having fun. But then you go back into reality, the world, because I would take the local transportation to school. I was 14. I didn't have a car. So every day I was threatened to be killed, beaten up. People would call
By
me
adults.
names by adults on the bus, to the point where I would be standing at the bus stop drenched in sweat from anxiety, and it was horrible. But
It's
then
a 14-year-old child.
yes. So now y'all understand why these kids kill themselves.
Yeah.
They
That's-
didn't have that book that saved my life.
Right.
They didn't.
That's horrible.
But now you know, listeners, there's hope out there. So if you got a little gay nephew, niece, or somebody in your family, give them that self-help book and let God do the mending, because that's how it saved me. No psychologist was going to save me. I remember they took me to a psychologist. I sat there and told that bitch everything that was wrong with me. And you know what she said? You need to grow up.
Oh.
What?
That was the advice from this wonderful
Professional.
psychologist.
Yeah.
And
I don't
then
even know what to say about that.
that's horrible. You know what I was going through, people making fun of me, this and that. You need to grow up. Well, hold on, girl. Listen to what I'm telling you and how it's fucking with my head. At 14, you don't know how to control your thoughts.
Yeah.
No.
You don't know how to differentiate what's negative, what's real, what's fake, what's imagination, what's not. You learn that as you grow.
Right.
Well, girl, that book saved my life. So, children, stop worrying, start living. And then I think it's Dale Carnegie, the name of the book, and another book too. I got to figure it out, but I'll let y'all know later. But really changed my life. Yes. And then it got so good. I remember staying at the bus stop after I'm learning God.
Yeah.
And I said, God, you say you're going to help me for the first time. Please don't let no one make fun of me on this bus. And they didn't.
What?
And I was on that DART bus looking around. And I was like, hold on. No one. What? Nobody for the first time. I'm like, it's so real. God is so real.
Yeah, the power's real when you
It's
really
so real.
open up to it. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you
see
start
it.
seeing it, because it was so in my face. And I was like, look, now it's changing. And I could feel my spirit changing to the point where I remember I went to school. My friend knew I was going through shit. She goes, oh my God, what's going on? You seem so happy. What are you taking? I
What pill? A happy pill.
I said, no, girl, I found God. She said, oh, girl, and rolled her eyes. So you see, it comes to you when it comes to you.
Yeah, I love that.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's really
That's the story,
Powerful,
honey.
I think.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a story. Yes.
Wow.
It was tough, but I made it through. And that's why I knew 3 years ago when I was going through that, quarter life crisis, I was like, I know how to fix myself. Go right back to God, honey. Open
Right.
that book and throw your ass in there.
I
Yeah.
just wish more people, like even the young people, it's so sad. I feel like they just, or anybody really that doesn't see the light. Like we're always like, it does get better. Like you never stay down in there. It just doesn't, like you
Yeah.
just have to keep pushing
It's
forward.
a roller coaster.
It
There's
is.
ups and downs.
Yeah.
You just gotta,
Oh, I say
push
subscribe, honey. Subscribe to the Lord. Get all up in it. And I tell kids who are like, oh, that's fake. I don't believe there's a God. I said, let me tell you why there's a God. Your brain is a huge chunk of meat. If I was to take your brain out of your body and you're staring at it in my hand, it's a piece of meat. Yet there's a voice in that piece of meat, which is our inner dialogue. And you can see pictures and you can put things together from the world. I said, what the fuck is that? There's a spirit in this meat. That's proof enough there's something going on. Woo, woo, woo.
spirit meat.
Right.
Spirit meat.
Spirit meat. I love that spider, spirit meat.
That's what
Hello.
I call my brain. Now,
I didn't know if I had a pork chop there was a voice in it. But here we have that in us. That's proof. There's God or something going on
Oh,
up in
there's
here.
so much
so much
of it.
proof.
So
I
much.
feel like, yeah.
Yes.
There was a sunset the other day, Monday night. I
is
feel
that the
like,
one you posted?
oh my, yes. And then I saw everybody there. You didn't need to put a filter on it. There was not, I was like, how could you not believe that there is a God when you look at something so beautiful? Like it would turn purple and pink, and everybody was taking like selfies with this
Yes.
sunset. I was like, oh my gosh, it's moments like that. I don't know how you would think otherwise.
It's so miraculous. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I also believe in aliens, but girl, let's not get into all that. I really do. I believe, anything's possible. But
On that note, I found out that you are a foodie, a spicy foodie. You love
Yes.
spicy food.
I do so much.
What's your favorite?
Well, at this point, chips and salsa will always reign supreme. And if it's good and you got it popping at your restaurant, I will think your restaurant's the best restaurant in the universe. But if your salsa sucks, I think your whole place sucks. And if your margarita sucks,
Oh, that's the worst.
That's the worst.
that's the worst.
That's my, like, I won't even go.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
no.
like if I wanted a Slurpee,
Yeah.
I would have gone to 7-Eleven.
You're right.
But I love chips and salsa, hot Cheetos, Takis.
Oh God, Takis. I can't
Yes.
stop.
I had some
So
extra
addicted.
hot extra flaming hot Cheetos the other day.
You did.
They were extra.
When I'm about to
Extra.
start my period, that's what I want to eat.
All right.
It's so delicious.
So weird, and I can't stop, and I'm like on fire, and I just keep eating them.
You're on fire.
Yes, I just can't stop.
It's wonderful. Do you like pickles?
Love pickles.
Have you ever stuck a hot Cheeto in a pickle and bit into
what?
it?
What?
No, but I'm going
Try
to.
it. It'll change your
I'm
life.
going to.
It's everything.
Cheeto stuffed pickles.
Just
Oh, I'll
stick
do
a
it 'cause I
Cheeto in the
love
pickle
both of
and
them.
Oh,
Turn it out.
when you
I'm gonna
do
film
You
it.
have to film it.
You're going to gag. They're so delicious. What's your favorite pickle brand?
Well, I love the pickles at what's the burger place? I eat them all the time. I don't even know what their brand is. Twisted Root. Have you
Oh,
ever been
yeah,
there?
Oh, okay.
The jar of pickles.
Yep.
I just keep going and going. They have different kinds and different. They have spicy pickles. I don't know what kind they are, but or with the normal one with the little pickle guy on it. The
pickle guy.
What is it called?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite pickle, Chris?
Ooh, Mount Olive pickles are so good. Please don't beat me up, fellow Texans. I know here in Texas, Best Made brand is like the
Best
best.
Made. That's what I eat. Yeah.
With the little happy face.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was talking about.
That's like the brand of Texas. And I like those, but Mount Olive is so delicious. I have a huge jar at home and like I'll eat them. And thankfully I don't have high blood pressure or anything like that, but it's so good.
But also, if you drink pickle juice, it helps a hangover.
Yes.
So they
And
say.
I like I think it does sometimes. And then I like whiskey with a pickle back.
Oh,
shot
how
of whiskey.
delicious.
It's good.
I love whiskey so much. So
Me too.
My
Good.
mom's like, what the hell?
I don't like anything else with it though.
Oh, dude.
No, yeah,
Just
no.
whiskey.
No, I will be honest with you. I was drinking whiskey and Diet Coke was my cocktail of choice every weekend, 3 days in a row. I love to party. But it started messing with me. Like
Really?
I would wake up feeling so bad
Yeah.
and anxious, and it was so much caffeine in the Diet Coke.
Right.
So I've learned to like stop that. So now I drink vodka soda with a tinge of pineapple. But girl, if you're drinking that much caffeine, of course you're gonna feel anxious. You're wired out. So
Right.
I slowed down on that.
Good for you. You love Selena.
Oh God, this is good. Man,
She's
come on,
like-
research.
Yeah, she knows she knows everything.
Wow, I do.
Love Selena. I loved Selena too.
Oh yeah, high five.
Selena.
That
We
is wonderful.
Went and saw her San Antonio.
Yeah, we went to San Antonio, saw her store, her boutique.
Oh wow, I have yet to do that.
Need to go.
It was a long time ago we
Oh,
went.
how wonderful. That's on my bucket list, to go to the museum, the store, the grave site. Yeah.
I remember when it happened, Marcella was little and she was in dance class. And I remember seeing, and we were in Irving in Texas, and all of a sudden all these cars were going by and everyone was like, rest in peace, Selena. I was like, who is that? I didn't know who that was. And then I started researching. I was like, my goodness. And then the movie, Jennifer Lopez did such a good job.
She did.
I
It
love
was
that movie.
amazing.
Yes, she was definitely the performer of that time,
Yes.
especially for the Hispanic culture. We had never had somebody to identify with the way we did with her, and how fast she was skyrocketing. And I believe she had like 10 back-to-back Billboard chart songs. I mean, it was like serendipity, and then boom, it's gone so fast, right? When selling out stadiums.
Do you know what? Last week I talked about that it's not always the enemy that holds the knife that stabs you in the back.
Yeah.
And it's actually, that's what the picture was. It was Selena and her manager.
Yes.
And then it said that.
Yes, it was Yolanda, the fan club manager, killed her. And I want to say 6, maybe 7 years old when that happened. And I was at my babysitter's house outside. Her daughter runs out. Oh my God, Selena's dead. What? We run inside. It's all over the news. Everybody's like shocked, crying. The cars are driving by with their headlights on. And it became this nationwide sensation. You know, in the 90s, a lot of people were getting murdered. Biggie, Tupac, then you got Selena getting murdered.
Yeah.
And it just added to that frenzy of these huge stories. And my goodness.
Amazing artists. You're like,
She
the
was.
world is missing them, I feel.
Truly. And you know, success has followed her all the way to now.
I know.
It's 20 years, right?
23 years ago she
23.
died, and
Wow.
then Mac came out with the Selena makeup line. It sold out, broke the internet, their website crashed.
amazing?
It sold out.
All this time still.
It was
lives
insane.
on.
And it was a fan campaign that made Mac realize the importance of this. They did it, sold out. they said, we're going to relaunch it because it was so successful. That sold out too. From Hawaii to Europe, you saw
Wow.
lines everywhere that
Amazing.
morning. It was so cool to see online. And then finally, Hollywood has recognized her
The
stardom,
star.
gave her star.
Oh, they did.
Well, and
On
you
the
went
Walk
to
of Fame.
see it.
And I
it was so
went.
sweet.
Oh,
I
that's
did.
cool.
You got emotional, didn't
I did
you?
get emotional because I got out. All the friends were at Universal Studios, and I made it a mission. No, while I'm in LA, I want to go see the Selena star. And so I call the lift. I get out of the lift, and as soon as I get out in front of Capitol Records, there it is, right there, like waiting for me. And there's a little flower there, and I just felt so emotional seeing that. Like, yay, you came so far. You got your star. You're a bona fide star forever. But the little flower, you know, I was like, oh, just talking about it. It's
yeah.
like, ugh, you know,
Yeah.
it was so good though. I was so happy for her, and thank God she lives on.
Right.
You see her on
I
YouTube.
love her music. I mean, I still think it's so fun, and
So
she
fun.
wore the best outfits.
Costumes.
Every
Oh,
bustier,
yes.
I want them all.
Yes.
So cute.
It's so cute. Her hair, her makeup. You see stars emulating,
Yeah.
her to this day, and she, you know, Selena Gomez is named after her, and it's just been so cool. I'm so happy. for her.
Marcella, you one time we talked about doing a Selena production.
Yes,
didn't
I was
we?
going to do it last year. I
Right.
wanted to do a
Before
Selena
we
production.
closed the
Mhm.
studio. We had talked
thought
about
it'd be
doing a
so
Selena
fun.
production with
Oh
and have
wow!
all the
dancers.
kids dressed in that red.
Yes.
With the, like that was
Yes.
a
Because the
plan.
music is so it's timeless, so I felt like it's fun and everybody would understand it, and because it's it's historical, so
Yes.
and the kids I thought would love it because I think Hispanic culture
Yes.
I love because I feel like because you're my mom too, like the European culture and Hispanic culture, like you guys party and party and party, and
Oh,
that's how
yes.
we've always been.
It's
Yes.
all about family too. I
And
love
family
that.
and music and everybody's happy and dancing and eating and family, and so I always have loved
Yes.
that culture.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And since her passing, we haven't had anyone in our culture reach that level of interest where everyone's interested in, oh my God. Yeah, you have your stars that people love. I love Jennifer Lopez. I love Cardi B. I love all these girls. But if I was to tell you the level Selena was, it was insanity. It was like what Lady Gaga was at her height, but in a different way. And everybody, I remember being in Mexico and they were jamming out to her in Mexico. She was everywhere. And so, yeah, I mean, you're not even an international star yet, but you're selling out stadiums. That says a lot of where you were going.
Well, she was
And
that
she did that.
crossover. She was just having that crossover, which is
She
sad.
was.
Yeah.
And, well, rest in peace, homegirl.
Right.
I got her on the back of my phone. I sure do.
You do.
She's the background
Oh
on my phone.
gosh.
I love you. For the
That
camera.
is
That's the
so-
camera right there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That is awesome.
I will always love her. I got a big old poster of her in my room.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes, and then some people from around the country send me like little keepsakes of her that I can't
Stop
access
it.
to here in Dallas, so they'll mail them to me. And I have a little like Selena shrine in my room.
Stop it.
That is so cute.
It's very
I know,
nice.
I love that.
Thank you, folks. Keep it coming.
That is awesome. Now, talking about being a recording artist,
Uh-oh.
I love that word.
I
love that word.
I know that you came out with a couple of songs, and we have
Yes.
a little listen for
Oh,
you.
Lord.
Which one do you want to
Jesus
hear?
Christ.
A little bit of
Do
each
shake
one.
your ass.
Yeah.
Oh, my
All right,
God.
good. That's the one I wanted to play.
I like the title. When was this?
2010.
Okay.
If you've watched the video, Michael is playing Chris's dad.
Oh.
It's hilarious.
Sitting here in my room alone, don't know what to do. Thinking about my rhythm
Your voice
tonight,
sounds so
thinking
different.
about my blue. Hey boo, gonna have some glitter, gonna have some flair, gonna wear more makeup, jungle booty underwear. Herbert, I don't care what your mama thinks, I'ma act a fool. I don't care what my daddy thinks, I know I make him drool. Hey, Mr. Taxi Man, I got a lot of cash. Take me to the nearest pub, I gotta shake my ass. Shake, shake, shake your ass. Shake your ass tonight.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Shake your ass. You know you wanna dance all night.
such a great beat.
Thank you. So the backstory with Shake Your Ass is I had just auditioned for, I believe it was season 9 of American Idol, and I had gotten the gold ticket. In those days, I was able to sing. I had a good enough voice where I could sing. Now get this. So I go to the Idol auditions, and it was thousands of people, and this was my second time trying out. When I get to the booth in front of the producer where it's now time for me to sing, I was the last one in my group. And so I sing, and she goes, "Have you done this before?" I said, "I actually have last year." She said, "How far did you get?" I said, "Girl, I did the walk of shame. I was hot. I had been here all day." I said, "By the time I said, I didn't even care." And she said, "Well, you know what? You're not going to walk today." She was like, "Congratulations." She was like, "That was really good." And she gave me the gold ticket, and I started crying. I was like, oh my God. I go backstage, I fill out all the contracts, and then I head home. No, I head to my mom's job, and I surprised her, and she went nuts. Well, I have to come back and re-audition, and this is right before you go in front of Simon, Paula, and Randy, and all those back in the day. And I didn't make it to them. I was the level right before I make it to them, and it was because it was my fault. I was stubborn. I sang a song I wanted to sing instead of what I was supposed to sing. They gave us a list of songs.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do, you know? And so I didn't make it there, but I was still so proud that I made it that far. And so I said, oh my God, this is a sign. I have to sing. And so I do a photo shoot in Wiley, Texas.
Oh, man.
We break for lunch, and I start noticing my voice is going away. And I start thinking, oh, maybe I got laryngitis. So I go to a party that night. After that party, I wake up. I couldn't even talk at all. And this was after that little Idol audition I had already. And this is days later. I'm at this photo shoot, and then I lose my voice. Well, the voice doesn't come back.
What?
2 weeks later, I still don't have a voice. So I go to a vocal specialist. They stick a camera in my nose to my throat. They look at my vocal cords, and they're like, they look fine. I didn't think they were fine. I'm like, why can't I talk? Or I can't even sing. I couldn't even go, woo. I couldn't even do that. And so I went to 2 more specialists, and it was the third one who was like, you had a vocal hemorrhage.
What does that mean?
Meaning your vocal cords filled up with blood.
Yep.
They swelled up. And I guess in those few weeks before, until I went to the doctor, I guess they healed, but healed improperly. When that happens, you're not supposed to drink. You're not supposed to talk at all. People, like some singers get those and they go on vocal rest where you have to write notes, no talking. And here I'm at a party screaming and yelling after I had lost my voice and I'm drinking. And so when I tell you that voice did not come back, I was so sad. My singing voice was gone. Now, these little fun songs that you hear on YouTube, I had met a producer named Michael Brown. I had told him my situation. He's like, who cares? He's like, let's do fun little pop stuff that you don't even have to sing. And that's how that came to fruition.
How fun.
And that's who did this building, isn't it?
And that's who built this big building.
Yeah.
Now, that happened to me. That was like 2009, 2010. And so since then to now, thankfully, my voice has recovered where I can, if in the future I decided, oh, now I want to sing again. Maybe I developed a little confidence to get back in there. It's good enough now.
Ooh.
It's not what it used to be, but it's a new normal, and I think I could work with it moving ford down the road.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
But it took that many years to get
That's-
it back.
I didn't even know that could happen.
It can happen.
A
And
vocal hemorrhage.
yes.
Yeah.
And some
it's
people,
like it gets so swollen, like you can't.
It was
It won't
bad.
vibrate, so you can't make any sound.
yeah, it was scary. I couldn't even
Especially if
talk.
you're a singer.
Oh,
like,
girl.
yeah.
It was
Oh my
bad.
goodness.
It was bad. So there went that, and I held on to the faith that it'd come back. But look, girl, since 2010 to 2018, it's taken that many years.
Wow.
But hey,
Maybe you had to
Yeah,
wait
you need
this
to-
long, and
yeah.
now you need to sing and see what
hey,
happens.
maybe we'll see. But I love the word recording artist. I told Alyssa, we were in LA. I said, girl, if people ask, say I'm a recording artist, I record my art and I make things
love
happen.
that.
Yes, because there's singers and there's recording artists.
Yep.
Artists who record art.
There you
And
go.
if you love it, you love it.
There you go.
Britney Spears,
Yeah.
I love her.
ain't no shame to the game. J-Lo's a recording artist.
Mhm.
Yep.
I love that.
She just put something out this year that was really good.
Yeah,
J-Lo?
all her stuff is good. J-Lo,
She is
Britney.
so hot. I swear she is not even aging.
She doesn't. Erika Jayne is hot too.
I love her.
Erika Jayne.
Love her.
I saw her on The View yesterday. I was like, you are everything, Miss Erika Jayne. Recording artist.
But you know what's crazy about her is she didn't get famous until her mid 40s. And she said, she was like, lots of people don't know, before she got on Beverly Hills Housewives, she was like done with Erika Jayne. And lots of people don't know that. And she
Wow.
said, God works in mysterious ways. And then that kind of on
Launched
her
her.
character on there was, and I love her personality.
I do
I
too.
try to take it like
And the
in.
makeup and everything,
Oh my God, I
yes.
know.
And going back to observing the universe, how we talked about the gay shift, I have noticed there is a change going on in pop culture right now where you don't have to be young.
I love that.
Totally.
For the last 10 years, it was you got to be in your early 20s. Now the shift is we're welcoming back 30 and up again. A lot of the reality stars are taking off in huge heights in their careers. And I like that. And what really confirmed that I was seeing the world correctly was I was watching, I believe it's America's Got, where Simon Cowell's on that show
I love
right now.
that show too. America's Got Talent.
Yes, and they had a contestant named Glennis Grace. She sings just like Whitney Houston. She's gorgeous.
I
saw
watched her.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. She's I think she's 40. And he had told her, you know what? The tide is changing.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes. And I said, oh my God, I noticed that too, which is great. Now we can all get a piece of the pie, you know?
Well, age is just a number. We've always said that. And I
Yes.
love that you don't feel like, well, now you're too old to do this and you can't do this. And I just sent you on Daily Mail. There's a model. She's in her late 40s. She's a grandmother. She is hot as shit, though. And I
Yes.
was like, it doesn't matter. And she's going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated or something.
Wow.
And she's a grandma, but she doesn't look old, but
Right.
it doesn't matter. And I think that we get so crippled by, well, now I'm
Ageism.
this and I can't do this anymore, but you can do anything, really.
Right. And now the top doesn't dictate what's cool. It's like coming from the bottom. Thank you, social media.
Yes, that has a huge
Yes.
part of that. Yeah.
If you're a social media star, the business comes to you. And I said, that's the bomb. I mean,
Well,
so,
I saw a friend of mine sent me that agencies in LA, and I looked them up, and now agencies have something where they represent influencers. I was
Yes.
like, wow, now influencers,
Get an
social media
agent.
people have an agent.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
amazing, like how the times have changed.
Yes,
Things
they
are always
do.
changing. So
But that's a good shift
it's
there.
It
a great
is.
shift. And on that note, we're going to end this show, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank
Yay.
you, Chris. I hope everyone got to know you a little bit better.
Thank you so much for
And
having me.
we're going to come back and we're going to talk some dancing queen stuff. How
All
about that?
right. Bye, folks.